Welcome to this video. Today I will be taking you through step by step on how to do a full deep clean on your computer, which will include the removal of all viruses, malware, adware, and spyware, and this will also help optimize your computer to help it run faster and more efficiently. Please be aware that I am doing this on Windows 10, but this will also work for Windows 8, 8.1, and Windows 7 users. Additionally, please be aware that I will be listing the steps down below in the notes down in the video description, and I will also list any important links down there, so please follow along down below. For step number 1, you will go down to the notes below, and underneath step number 1 there is a link that you will click on that will take you to this page to Malwarebytes, which is the first free anti-malware program we're going to run, which will scan the computer. So you'll look for where it says free download and click on it, and it will start the free download. Once the download has completed, be sure to open it. If user account control pops up, click on yes, and then basically proceed through the installation process. Once Malwarebytes has been installed, you'll get a window like this about a 14-day premium trial. Just click on close, and then come over here to where it says settings on the left hand side, and then come up here to account details and click on that tab, and then you'll want to come down here to deactivate the premium trial because we just want to use the free version. So you'll want to go ahead and click on yes, and then yes again, and then you will notice that it has switched to the free version of Malwarebytes. If you get a window like this, just click the bottom option and then hit OK, and then yes. Now before we run a scan, come over here and click on the Protections tab, and just double check the settings here. We do want to make sure that the Scan for Rootkits option is turned on, so make sure that is turned on, and then make sure both of these say always detect PUPs and always detect PUMs. Make sure both of those match what you're seeing on the screen, and then go ahead and turn this startup option off, and then we should be good to go ahead and run a scan. So go ahead and click on the dashboard over here on the left hand side, and then you'll want to click on check for updates right here just to make sure that it's up to date before we run that scan. And then once the update has completed, go ahead and click on Scan Now. Now it is normal that these scans can take several hours. Sometimes they go quick, sometimes they don't. So just make sure you let the computer run until it's fully completed the scan. Once the scan has completed, if it found any results, it will list them as well as it will tell you how many it found up here at the top. Just confirm and make sure that every single box is checked because you do want to make sure that you remove all of them. And then once you have done that, go ahead and click on Quarantine Selected. After it has completely quarantined all of the results, if you get a message like this asking you to restart, just go ahead and click on No, we will restart later. For step number 2, what you will do is go back down to the notes in the video description, and underneath step number 2 you will click on the link that will take you to this page, which is for Super Anti-Spyware, an anti-spyware scan that we're going to run on the computer. And you'll want to click on the red button that says Free Edition, and you'll want to go ahead and let that program download. And after the download has completed, go ahead and open it. If user account control pops up, click on yes, and then go ahead and proceed through the installation. When this window pops up, be sure to click on Decline because we do not want to run the trial. When you get to this window, the first thing you want to do is come right here so we can make sure that the program is up to date. So you'll just click on that and we'll check for updates. And then once it says completed, you can click on OK, and then come up here to the top left where it says Scan this computer and click on it. And then you want to click on Complete Scan. And then it's going to check the computer for any possible unwanted or harmful programs. We will remove these later, so for now just go ahead and click on Skip these, and it will start the computer scan. Once the scan has completed, you'll get a menu like this one. You'll just want to click on Continue and make sure there is an X in all of the boxes, and then hit Continue again to have them removed. If you get a pop-up like this one asking you to close the browsers, just go ahead and click on Yes. And once everything has been removed, you can go ahead and click on Continue. If you get a message from Super Anti-Spyware asking to restart, again just decline it, we will restart later. For step number 3, you'll need to go back down to the notes below in the video description, and underneath step number 3, click on the link there, and it will take you to this page, which is for CCleaner, which we will use to remove the garbage out of the computer and help optimize it. And we will be using the free version. And so you'll need to scroll down and click on the download button. And once the download has completed, you'll need to open it. If user account control pops up, click on yes. When this window pops up, you want to come down to the bottom left corner and uncheck this box because we do not want to install this program, and then click on install. And then on this menu, uncheck this box and then click on Run CCleaner. Now this is the actual CCleaner program. I'm going to maximize the window to make it bigger. Step 3 will have 4 parts: Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. And so for Part A, make sure you have the Cleaner tab selected on the left-hand side, and also make sure you have the Windows tab selected. And for this menu, just basically make sure that yours matches what I have. Underneath Microsoft Edge, the most important thing is don't delete any saved information. So the saved passwords, saved form information, do not check those boxes. Same with Internet Explorer. And then also make sure you do not have any boxes checked below the Windows log files. That should be the very last box that you have checked because we do not want to delete any of those below. And then come up here to the Applications tab and click on it. Now your application list will probably be different than what I have on mine. It just depends on what you have installed on your computer. But if you do have Firefox and Google Chrome, just make sure that yours matches mine. We don't want to delete any of the saved information. And then pretty much any of the other boxes you can go ahead and check and delete everything out. And so once you have all of that set, you can go ahead and hit the Run Cleaner option in the bottom right corner, and then go ahead and click on Continue, and it will delete the garbage out. If you get a message like this asking you to close the browser, go ahead and just click on Yes so it can continue. Once it reaches 100%, you'll know that it's finished. You can also click on Show Advanced Report, and it will give you a detail of what was removed. Now for Part B of Step 3, you'll want to click on the Registry tab on the left-hand side, and then just make sure all of the boxes are checked, and go ahead and click on the Scan for Issue button. And then once it says 100% up here in the top right, just make sure all of the boxes are checked, and click on Fix Selected Issues in the bottom right corner. And then when it asks to back it up, go ahead and click on Yes. And then you can save it wherever you would like to. I'm just going to go ahead and save it right here, so I'll click on Save. And then you can see that it found 64 issues, and we're going to click on Fix All Selected Issues. And then once that has completed, you'll click on Close. And then I do recommend you run this scan at least a second time because it doesn't always find everything on the first scan. So I'm going to go ahead and scan it again right now. We can see on the second scan that it says right here that it found no issues, and so now we know we're ready to move on to Part C. Now for Part C of Step 3, what you'll do is come over to the left-hand side and click on the Tools tab, and then also make sure you have the Uninstall tab selected up at the top. And then here in the middle, it will give you a list of all of the programs and applications that are installed on your computer. And so what we'll be doing is going through and removing all of the bad programs as well as all of the junk programs. And so this is how this is going to work. What you're going to do first is go through this list, and anything that you recognize and know that you no longer use, you're going to remove it. When you find something that you need to remove, all you do is you click on it, and then over here on the top right hand side, you just click on the Uninstall button. Now again, if you don't know what it is, don't touch it. Only remove the things that you recognize and know that you no longer need. Next, what you'll do is go down to the notes below, down in the video description, and go to Step 3, Part C, and you'll notice that there is a link there. And if you click on that link, it will take you to this website called Should I Remove It?, where you can look up the programs you do not recognize to see if it's something you should remove or not. All you'll do is you'll type it in this search box and hit search, and then it will give you a rating. It will either be a green rating or a yellow, orange, or red rating. If it's yellow or orange or red, then you have to remove it. The only ones that you should consider keeping are the ones with the green rating. Now, just as an example, if I wanted to know if I should remove the crawler toolbar, what I would do is come over here to Should I Remove It and type it into the search box and then click on the search button, and then we can see that it does have a red rating, so we know that we must remove it. Now just a couple tips and pointers as you're going through this list. If you see anything with toolbar in the title, don't even bother looking it up. all of those must be removed. It doesn't matter what company they're from. All toolbars are bad, so absolutely remove those. Additionally, if you see any programs that claim to be cleaners or optimization programs, don't even bother looking those up. Just go ahead and remove them. Outside of the programs I show on this video, you should not use any other cleaning or optimization programs just because often they are malware or can cause other computer problems. So again, any cleaning or optimization programs, just go ahead and remove those. And then the last tip is if you see more than one antivirus program on this list, then you absolutely must remove the extra antivirus programs, because you never ever want to have more than one antivirus program on your computer, because if you have more than one, it can cause multiple problems on your computer. Please be aware that some programs do not fully uninstall until after a computer restart. So if you're going through and removing programs and they still show up on this list, please be aware that most of those should disappear after a computer restart. And then also, if you do get a prompt up on the screen that's asking you to restart the computer right then and there, just decline it for now, as we will be restarting the computer later. After you have gone through and removed all of the bad and junk programs, you are ready to move on to Part D of Step 3. And for Part D, what you'll do is come over here and click on the Startup tab over here on the left hand side. And this will give you a list of all the programs that start up in the background every time you turn the computer on. And so what we want to do is go through and clean this list up. That way it will help the computer run more efficiently. Basically, for the most part, you want to turn everything off here except for do not turn off anything here that has to do with your antivirus program, and do not turn off anything that has to do with any sort of online automated backup service. Other than that, for the most part, you should be able to turn everything off. And so the way that you do that is you just click on the program and then click on Disable over here on the right hand side. And so again, just select the item and then click on Disable, and you'll just want to do that for each one. Now you can see I've gone through and disabled everything except for this top one, which is an automated online backup service, and this one has to do with our antivirus program. And so those two I'm going to leave turned on, but everything has now been turned off that we don't need. Now for those of you using Windows 10, there is one more additional step for Part D. What you'll need to do is come down to the bottom left corner of your screen and click on the Windows button, and then type in Settings, and then go ahead and open up the Settings menu. And then you'll need to come over here to Privacy and click on it. And then over here on the left hand side, click on the Background Apps option. And this will give you a list of all of the apps that are set to run in the background. So basically just the same thing. You want to turn off as much here as possible. Pretty much everything you should be able to turn off. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now you will notice that there is one here that has to do with my antivirus, so I'm going to leave that one turned on, but everything else on this list has been turned off. For Step 4, we're going to go through and clean out the malware and garbage out of the web browsers, and so this step will have 3 parts, Part A, Part B, and Part C. And for Part A, we're going to start in Google Chrome. What you'll do first is come up to the top right corner and click on the 3 little dots and go down the menu to where it says Help, and from there click on About Google Chrome. And this is just going to make sure that the browser is up to date. If it is up to date, you'll get a check mark. Otherwise, it will start to update, and then you'll need to relaunch Google Chrome after the update is completed. Next, after you have made sure that Google Chrome is up to date, you'll come up to the top right corner again and click on the 3 little dots. And this time go down to where it says More Tools, and from there click on Extensions. Now before we do anything, come up here to the top right hand side and turn on the switch next to Developer Mode, and then click on the Update, which will make sure everything is up to date as far as your extensions. Now down below here, it's going to list all of the extensions that have been installed on your Google Chrome browser. Now let's be clear, extensions are convenient, but they are not good for security, they are not good for privacy, and they do slow the web browser down. And so we want to go through and clean these up. I strongly recommend that you remove as many extensions as possible. The only exceptions I would make would be if you have an extension that has to do with a password keeper or password vault, I would keep that. Or the default extensions on Google Chrome, I would also keep those. But anything and everything else I would go ahead and remove. And so right here, the first one is the Google Docs. That is a default one. So what we're going to do is turn it off while it's not being used. to increase security, privacy, and help optimize the browser. Now if you come across one that says toolbar in it, it does not matter who it's from. All toolbar extensions need to be removed, and so we're first going to disable it, and then we're going to click on the remove button to remove it permanently off of the Google Chrome browser. This one right here is a password keeper, so we're going to keep that one installed, but we're going to disable it when it's not in use to help optimize the browser. Pinterest, again, if you come across one that's legitimate, I would still remove it just to increase privacy, increase security, and help the browser run more efficiently. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Now if you do come across one that you absolutely cannot part ways with, I would at least turn it off when it's not being used, but I would strongly recommend removing them if possible. So I'm going to go ahead and remove Pinterest. And then these last three are just three of the default extensions from Google, so I'm just going to turn each one of these off while they're not being used. Now additionally, if you did get a virus or some other form of malware on the computer, often it will change your homepage or default search engine. And so to change those back, what you'll need to do is come up here to the top right and click on the three little dots again and go down to Settings. From here you can find the option to change your homepage. You'll need to first click on this switch off to the right, and then just click the bottom dot, and you can type in exactly what you want your homepage to be for Google Chrome. And then moving down the list, there is an option right here to change your default search engine, and so you can click on this drop down menu. I do recommend that you use either Google, Yahoo, or Bing, or DuckDuckGo to increase privacy. And then also if you need to change what happens to the browser on startup, you can select one of these options and even type in a specific page if you would like to do so. Again, these settings often get changed when there's malware on the computer, so that's how you check them and change them back if needed. For part B, we're going to go ahead and clean up Firefox, so I'm going to go ahead and open up Firefox now, and the first thing we'll do is come up to the top right corner and click on the menu button, and from here we're going to go down to where it says help and click on it. And then we're going to click on About Firefox just to confirm that Firefox is up to date. If it is not up to date, it will automatically start updating and then give you a restart button that you'll need to click on to restart Firefox. After you have confirmed that Firefox is up to date, you'll come back up to the top right corner and click on the menu button, and this time you'll go down to where it says Add-ons and you'll click on that option. Now from here, the first thing you'll want to do is click on the Extensions option on the left hand side and make sure it's selected. And here it will list all of the extensions you have installed on Firefox. And just like with Google Chrome, I would strongly recommend removing as many extensions as possible. The only exception I would make would be for your password keeper or password vault. Even if you have one from your antivirus program, I would still remove those just because generally they don't really increase that much security, and they usually will slow the browser down as well. And so also if you do see one with toolbar in the title, that one absolutely must go. And so over here on the right hand side, we're going to go ahead and hit remove to get rid of it. And then this one is our password keeper, so we want to keep it, but we're going to disable it while it's not in use. So I'm going to hit disable. And then we see another one here with toolbar, so we're going to hit remove. And then we have a third one here that says toolbar, so we're going to hit remove on that one as well. Next, you will want to come back over here to the left hand side and click on the plugins option. And it's going to list all of the plugins on your Firefox web browser. Before you do anything, come up here to the top and click on this gear icon and click on check for updates just to make sure everything is up to date. And then the list of plugins that you see on your Firefox may be different than what you see here. It's just going to depend on what you have installed. But basically what you need to do is go through each one and click on the drop down menu over here on the right hand side, and if it has the option to change it to ask to activate, I would strongly recommend that you change it to that. Some of them may not have the option, and so if they do not have the option, just leave them the way they are. If it does have the option, change it to ask to activate. Next, we do want to double check the home page as well as the default search engine for Firefox, because again, malware can change those settings. And so what you'll do is come up to the top right corner and click on the menu button and go down to where it says Options. And then from here, make sure you have the General option selected on the left hand side. And then right here, I would just recommend going with the top option that says Show Your Home Page, but you can go with whichever setting you would like. And then right here, if you need to change your home page, you can do so. You can set it to whatever you would like it to be. And then to check the search engine, you'll come over here to the left-hand side and click on Search. And it will list the default search engine right here in this drop-down menu. If you need to change it, you just click on it. Again, I do recommend that you use Google, Bing, Yahoo, or to increase privacy, use DuckDuckGo. And then whichever one it shows here will be the current default search engine. For part C of step 4, we want to go through and clean out Microsoft Edge, which is this blue E at the bottom, and only Windows 10 users have this browser, so please be aware of that. So we're going to open it up and go to the top right corner and click on the 3 little dots, and then go down the menu to where it says Extensions, and this will list all of the extensions that are currently on this browser. And so currently there's only one, just the same as with Firefox and Chrome. I strongly recommend that you remove as many extensions as possible, making the only exception for your password keeper or password vault. And so when you find an extension here, you'll notice off to the right there's a gear icon, so we're going to click on that gear, and it's going to give us some additional options. And so if there's absolutely an extension that you just can't part ways with, you can turn it off to disable it. But again, I would recommend uninstalling it if possible, so I'm going to go ahead and hit uninstall to remove it off of the Microsoft Edge browser. After you have completed removing the extensions, what you'll want to do next is, just like with Firefox and Chrome, you want to verify the settings, because again, malware will try to change the settings in your browser. And so if I come up here to the top right corner and click on the 3 little dots, this time I'll want to go down to where it says Settings at the very bottom, and then right here we can change what happens when Microsoft Edge first opens. So if you need to change that, that's how you do so. And then if we go down the list to Advanced Settings, it will give us some additional options. Right here you can turn the Show Home button on or off, which will also give us the option to change what happens as far as the home page. Right now it's set to the Start page, and that's fine. If you want to set it to a specific page, you just click on that option and then type in whatever you want the specific home page to be. And then also down here towards the bottom, there is an option to change the search engine. One thing you'll notice, if I click on that, it doesn't list a whole lot of options. So what you have to do is visit the site that you want to be your search engine. So for example, if I type in google.com and then go to Google and then come back up here, go down to Settings, click on Advanced Settings, and then click on Change Search Engine, we now have the option to change it to Google if we would like to do so. We just select it and then click Set as Default. Now just a quick side note, down here at the bottom I do have Internet Explorer. This is not to be confused with Microsoft Edge. These are 2 separate different browsers. And so especially with Windows 7 and Windows 8 users, if you are still using Internet Explorer, you need to stop using this browser. It's no longer being updated from Microsoft, so you need to switch to either Google Chrome or Firefox, or if you're on Windows 10, you can use Microsoft Edge, that's fine, but stop using Internet Explorer as it is no longer safe and no longer receiving updates from Microsoft. For step number 5, we need to run an antivirus scan, and so whichever antivirus program you are using on your computer, you need to open it up, and all antivirus programs will have the option to check for updates. It's very important that your antivirus is up to date before you run the scan, and so I'm just going to go ahead and click on Check for Updates. Right now I'm just using Windows Defender, which is the built-in antivirus program in Windows 10. And so once it's been updated, we can then go back. And again, on your antivirus program, after you've updated, you need to look for the full scan option and go ahead and run a scan. And it's going to scan your entire computer for any further infections. If it does find any, it will give you the option to quarantine or remove them. Also, please be aware down below in the notes down in the video description underneath step number 5, I will list links to free antivirus programs that you can use on your computer. Just remember, you can only use one antivirus program at a time, so if you do decide to switch, fully uninstall the current antivirus program you have and then install the new one. For step 6, we just need to run a defrag on the drive in the computer. And to do that, what we need to do is come down to the bottom left corner and click on the Windows button and just type in File Explorer. Please be aware, if you're using an older version of Windows, you may need to type in Windows Explorer. But we want to go ahead and open up the File Explorer window, and then down the left hand column look for where it says This PC, or on older versions of Windows it may say Computer. But go ahead and click on it and then locate the C drive. We just want to right click on the C drive and go to Properties, and then from here in this little window click on the tab that says Tools and then click on the Optimize button. And what you want to do first is look for the C drive and check to see if it says hard disk or if it says solid state drive. If it says solid state drive right here underneath media type, then we need to turn the defrag off because that is not good for solid state drives. So to turn it off, you just come down here to where it says change settings and just uncheck the run box or the run on schedule box and hit OK, and then you'll notice that it is now turned off. However, this one does say hard disk, and so if yours says hard disk, we actually want to leave this turned on. So what we'll do is we'll come back here and check the box to have it run on a schedule. I do recommend that you run it monthly, and then also just double check to make sure underneath choose that you have the C drive selected, as well as if you have any other hard drives listed here, make sure they are selected as well, and then you'll just hit OK. And then we're going to go ahead and click OK again, and we can see that the schedule is turned on and it's set to monthly. As of right now, we want to select our C drive, and then you'll want to click on Optimize to run the defrag right now. Please be aware that it can take a while to complete, and then after it completes, from this point forward, it will just run on a monthly schedule automatically. For step 7, which is the final step, it's also the easiest step. All we need to do is come down here and click on the Windows button and click on the power option and then click on Restart to restart the computer. After the restart has completed, you should be in good shape and ready to go, but if you do have any comments or questions, please post them down below and I will respond as quickly as possible. As always, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.